Yo, what up, day and night gang? It's your boy AM coming you with an AM vlog. Get hype, everybody. So what I will be doing today is sharing with you my New Year's resolutions. PM did hers in a previous video, but this time it's my turn to show you what I got in store for 2022. So let me switch over to my main screen. Right here is I did a PowerPoint presentation. Ta-da! Kind of going a little bit extra, but this is kind of falls into what I want to do in the future. I labeled this 2022 Guide to Grinding in Real Life XP. What I will do is move on to the next one. I broke these into different categories that kind of things I want to focus on. This is kind of a little hoity-toity in terms of how I set it up, but you know, the thing I want to work is my brain power, to get the brain muscles working, to get them, you know, active, fit, get them to the rock status. So what I want to do is level up AMPM adventures, and so that means I want to make better videos, and that also comes with learning new skills. For those that don't know, I graduated in digital media, and for a long time I really didn't use my skills as often as I would like to. And so starting the AMPM adventures was kind of my way of getting back into I want to say the scene, but it's a way for me to kind of like keep those skills fresh, and so then if I were ever to like need to use them in the future, they're there. Falls into that. Next thing I want to do is write a lot more, and so I labeled that as like building my universe. And so that means I just want to write more stories. I went to school to be a filmmaker, and I had all these stories in my head and in my brain, and I just need to write them down, even if I don't like make them. It's just for like prosperity's sake, I guess is the best way to say it. It's just like somebody will come along, read them, and be like, oh, that's a pretty cool thing. Maybe they can take that and do something with that. I don't know, but that's what I want to do, and also record AMPM history. AMPM Adventures is basically what that is, just like a video journal, video diary of like our lives. But I also want to write them down, because some things you can't capture in a video, like feelings and emotions and things like that. And so that's where it comes into. And then lastly, I just want to read more books. I believe that if you read a lot, you just get new ideas and concepts, and you just start looking into different worlds, and it just starts branching out to a lot of other things. So last year, well, I read quite often, but I mean last year I didn't read like full-on books. I just kind of just read, you know, articles. So I want to do a little bit more, kind of more of the creative reading, I guess what you would call it. Just like, you know, autobiographies, stories, just a bunch of things that people do when they write. So that's kind of where I'm headed in terms of that. On to the next one. This is the body, and everybody, you know, knows this pretty much. I'm just going to move this over here so we can kind of see everything that's written out. You know, the one thing that I wanted to do, PM kind of like hinted at, is that I want to go on more hikes. I want to do a little one at least once per month, so I can, you know, start being in nature, start getting the vibrations of the earth talking to me, telling me what I need to do, my next steps and stuff. Another thing is just watch what I eat. My ultimate goal is just to drink water and then just kind of go on and down. So, you know, just to get your body into like Wolverine shape, just to kind of get into the fighting mode, just to get it, you know, get it tuned up. So it's a nice little hot rod that can take you places and get you where you need to go. And you know, we kind of just slacked off for a bit because we were in a pandemic, and also for various reasons. And that also includes, you know, dieting, just kind of like, you know, watching what you eat. We have a tendency to kind of like eat a lot of rich stuff, even though we don't eat out as much as we used to, because we just do a lot of cooking at home. But we just been cooking like crazy types of meals, all these different types of pastas and stuff. But you know, just do it in moderation and just kind of get yourself good. Another thing that I want to do is work out more. That's kind of like the ultimate goal for everybody, I think, when it comes to resolutions. So just, you know, do it twice a week, get your body moving, get yourself grooving. And then we go on to what I would like to consider the soul. So it's just, you know, purifying yourself, getting down to the essence of who you are as a being. I know this is like a lot of like metaphorical stuff that I'm talking about, but I mean, we kind of understand the concept of it. So one of the things I want to do is just, you know, reduce all the stuff that I accumulated over time. just to kind of get back to the basics. What I put down here, that means just like not having so much stuff, just being very minimal in terms of what you have. So it means that I have to get rid of a lot of things. It just seems like I tend to start collecting things and accumulating things, and that's not a good habit to have. And so the less you have, the more focus you can be on your intent and things that you do. Another thing that I really want to do is just help my friends and PM achieve their dreams, which is the biggest thing. I label that as mind over matter. I have a pretty decent set of skills that I can solve problems fairly quickly and intuitively. And so maybe there's people out there that would like to use those skills. I can create systems, I can create models that can achieve those types of things. I apply them into my own life as well. And it's a process. It's not something that you can do very easily, but I seem to have a knack for it. So I want to be able to like impact that onto others. Another thing that I want to do is express gratitude. That's kind of a very open-ended thing. I don't know how to describe. I understand the concept, but I don't know how that's going to be visualized. And so that's kind of like really one of my goals that's really grandiose. And so, they do things like, thankfulness journal is like every day you write 3 things that you're thankful for. Saying thank you, smiling, just being kind to others. And so I guess got to figure out a system where I can just do it consistently, just doing acts of kindness for other people. And so that's kind of where I'm going with that. I just haven't really had the time to really dive into it and figure it out, but that's something that has been a goal of mine for 2022. Well, next is spirit. This one is pretty cool. I dig this one a lot. This is probably the one that gives you like self-care, the one that gives you happiness. So one of the things that I want to do is go back into our community garden. It was fun working in it, and it was also cool to see the rewards of just like your work. Grow plants and produce, and then they get big, and then they give you plentiful stuff to like share with other people. And so that's just really cool, and I really dug it. And it's also you get to eat your own vegetables, and it's just like the coolest thing ever. So I want to do that. We want to expand a little bit more, so instead of doing 2 plots, we'll go 3. And then I've been thinking a lot about like how I'm gonna set up these plots, because last time we just kind of threw everything in there and it just went crazy. So this time we're going to be a little bit more efficient with our space, and then just kind of like get down to the things that we really want to like. Sometimes you grow stuff like peppers, and it's just like we can't eat that many peppers, it's too hot, and then you got to find ways to make stuff out of it. Also is a good one. And another thing that I want to do is I want to buy for my friends. I heard a saying once, it was like vote with your wallet. So it means just like, where you put your money is what dictates, how you want things to be. And so I know a lot of my friends have side hustles, and they have little gigs on the side where they're trying to like, make money. And I want to support them, and I want to be able to help them out. And so, whatever I can spend, I'll give to them. And also in my communities, there's a lot of communities that I'm a part of. I'm a gamer. I'm the Navajo, and so there's people back home that I can help support, and that's what I really want to do, is just kind of find different avenues to give back to. And small businesses need help. Everybody needs help, and so if I can just kind of like focus more of my efforts away from Amazon, even though I love Amazon, to like to people that really need it, I think that would help me out in terms of feeling a sense of purpose and happiness. The last thing I want to do is what I would call is collaboration, link and build, as I put here on my presentation. And what that means is just do some cool projects with friends, just kind of think of cool stuff to do, and then see what we can do as a group. It doesn't have to be anything like monumental. It could just be something simple as like creating a zine, and for me that'd be like the coolest thing ever. So if I can do that, I'd be really happy with that. So that's kind of like one of the things that I want to do, or anything that anybody has an idea of doing, I would love to be a part of it and get that in motion. I just been loving the whole idea of like creating stuff, and so we've been doing that a lot with our channel. We get a really good sense of, you know, purpose, and we like sharing with people and seeing feedback on things, and so it's just be awesome to be able to maybe bring in more people. This one is called The Self, and how I categorize this is kind of just like it's kind of like, you know, me being greedy, things that I want, personal possessions. One thing I want to do is redo our living room. Our apartment's pretty small, so we just want to kind of like, you know, I want to simplify a lot of things. We just kind of bought a bunch of stuff like haphazardly, and there's no rhyme and reason how we set it up. It was just like, oh, this is on sale, we'll buy this, and this is on sale. And now I want to be a little bit more intentional in my space, and so, you know, get rid of some of our stuff, and then getting other things to replace it, so it's a little bit more functional, and just brings better vibes. So that's what I want to do. Another thing that hopefully I can do in all this stuff that I'm like, you know, putting out into the universe is also buy a used truck that's under $10,000. Putting myself in a position to be able to do so would be really, really great, and so it's gonna be pretty tough. But I'm just really excited to see if that can be a possibility. There's a truck that was just released recently. It's called the Ford Maverick. It's a smaller truck, but it comes in around like $20,000, and so maybe when somebody, you know, puts on quite a few miles on it and wants to trade it in for something different or a newer version, you know, maybe I can come and swoop in and pick it up on the cheap. Or just like anything out there that, you know, is a good size, you know, truck that I can use. I really want to use it for like camping and taking. I want to get a bike and do some biking. Kind of want to do like mountain biking, going to the mountains and doing it. Here in the Pacific Northwest, there's like a lot of cool trails that you can ride on. And I will call I guess I call this one the grind. So this is more like adulting. This is stuff that you have to do just as an adult, so you can get to where you want to go, which is something that is always good to do, is paying down your debt. So, you know, we don't have a lot of debt because we worked on it last year, and we're continually working on this year. It's just like, you know, some things come up and you want to have a good time, so you just like, you know, do a trip and you put it all on the credit card. And then, you know, sometimes those trips add up, and then you just have to pay them off. That's what we're going to do. We're going to team up and pay down our credit card. So I plan in the next 3 months to do so. It just means there's going to be some sacrifice on our part, you know, having to set aside those funds. And then just, you know, another thing I want to do is buy a house. This has been a plan that's been put in motion for, well, I guess I started last year, and this is going to be the second year, I believe, and I have another year that I have to go into it. And so hopefully I can raise enough money to put a down payment on a house. There's a specific number that I'm trying to reach. That's just to have a pretty low mortgage, so that, you know, if anything were to ever happen to me or PM, that the person that's living in that home can, you know, pay it. Is a good goal to set. The crazy thing is the housing market is insane at the moment, so it is what it is, but we're just trying to be proactive and trying to like hit a goal. So my goal personally is to save over $10,000 in the next 12 months. I have a game plan, just making sure I stick to it, having the vision, having the foresight to go through that plan. Sometimes it requires you to just like, you know, sacrifice some stuff on your end. Finances is always a hard thing, and I'm pretty good at it. I just want to make sure that I stay consistent with it. And then that's the end of my presentation for all of you members of the Day and Night Gang. If you like what you see, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Let me know in the comments what kind of goals that you've set. And if you're new to the channel, just subscribe. Hopefully, later on in the year, you can see some updates of what I have done to get where I need to go on my resolution. So maybe I might do an end of year wrap up. Other than that, I give you peace.